cover this part a bit. I'm using round brush. The thing which I want to do over here is this. I'm covering this. I'm gonna make this mountain type thingy here. This is the Persian blue color I'm using here. Alright, we can cover this color as well because we'll use a lighter color on this, so that would hide it. So this time I'm going to take this sky blue color and I'm going to mix bit of turquoise color. This is turquoise. Alright, I'm taking sky blue and turquoise color. I'm going to mix it a bit. This has become a bit darker, so I'll be making it a bit lighter using white. So this color is very different from sky blue, right? I mixed with turquoise color. Let's try and make this color. It's with ocean color. Before, I'm gonna cover these parts again, but with the less color, right? Very thin. Just the highlighting part. Okay, so there is a trick which I used while painting this piece. So I did hold this detailing brush. What did I do? I kept my hand and let it shake like this. So it made a real nice texture, which you can see here with the white part. So I let my hand shake, so which gave it a real good texture. So you guys can also use this trick. And let me know if that works for you as well. Okay, and we're gonna leave this part for now because we're gonna use teal color here. This part. Okay, we're gonna use teal color over here. A bit later, we'll cover this highlighting part first, and then. Okay, I forgot one thing. I was about to tell you, but I started to talk with the person. That's okay. The color which we used before, or let's just do one thing. Let's do it later. Let's cover this part. That would confuse you. Are we done till here? Guys, I'm overlapping the lines, okay? We can cover up the thing which we left in the previous step. So I use this acid blue. I'm using this acid blue, which I used before this color which we made recently, right? The thing which I forgot was I have to cover this edges, this edge part here. I'm using acid blue to cover this edge part. Are we done? This is the thing which we left in the previous step. All right. So I'm going to cover this part, which I was telling you before. I'm going to cover this part with tea and bit of this part. Basically this part, just this part should be covered with tea. And bit of here. So you're going to use two places to cover it with the tea, right? All right. So I'm using it here. I'm using round brush. You guys don't have to worry about the color which was below it, because you're gonna use different color on this to highlight it. Okay, which shade it is? Okay, I'm using teal. This is teal. The reference picture is in the chat box now. You guys can follow that too. Okay, this is the first place I'm using teal and a bit of teal over here. And the second one I was telling you was here. That's it. Or if you want to give at other places, it's your choice. You can experiment and do let me know if I can do it anywhere else. So I'm going to make this teal color a bit darker to do the highlighting part on this one. So what I can do is, I'm not going to mix black in this. Rather than using black, I'm going to use Prussian blue, so that it's a bit similar color, not exactly different. If I use black, that would make a darker teal, but this is a different color. Can you see this here? I've used teal and Prussian blue. Going to highlight it bit. It's darker coming out, it's coming out lighter, so I'll be using more Prussian blue. Alright, this is better. And also going to cover it here where we did teal. So I'm using the same color which I just mixed, teal and Prussian blue. And do you remember this mountain thingy we made over here, this phase? I'm going to cover a bit here in this way. Just this part and bit of this part. That's it. If it is visible to you guys, we're going to use this combination of teal and Prussian blue, which we mixed earlier. We're going to use it on this. We're going to highlight it in this way, here, and another stroke here. And we also did here this darker portion. We're going to give a bit stroke over here as well. And here as well. So basically I'm just covering the darker parts which I left before. Alright, so the next step would be a bit lighter color which we made earlier. This one, acid blue and white. So I have acid blue here, so I'm mixing a bit white in this. We need this color. So this time we're gonna cover this darker portion. I'm using fine. We're gonna make a very fine detailing on this in this way. This mountain thingy, just cover the right part of it. This way. This way. The trick which I told you earlier, let your hand shake. This is my personal trick. You can use yours as well. And another thing which I'm going to use it, I'm going to make these three, let's say C. And I'm covering these darker parts. Again, over here we have the darker part. I'm making a bit wave line here. Anyhow, we're going to use white on this, so that will be covered with that. Alright, the next part is here, the darker one. So I'll be using this line like this. I'm using very light color in this. Light color as in using more of water and less of color. If it is visible to you, it's just water, and I've just used a bit of color. Pinch of color. I'm going to cover this part so that it doesn't give it the whole color, just the shade of it. So also I'm going to cover this part a bit. I think we need to give a darker color over here because it's a bit lighter. All the shades are lighter here. So I'll be using Prussian blue. We need to create a bit shadow, so we'll use darker. So let's make this whiter part, the highlighting part. We'll be using white for now. And we'll be using detailing brush. We have white here. Okay, the trick which I told you earlier, you can go for same trick. Alright, we'll start with this one. Okay, I'm going to highlight it from here. So I'm highlighting it from here. I'm using white. I'm just making zigzag lines here. And the most important thing is the finest line which you're going to make is going to give a great effect, which I show you. This part. This part. Can you see this? This is the best part, and I use the same trick over here. So I'll be using it again. I'm just going to keep my brush and let my hand shake. So basically you just have to make webs, similar to webs. These webs, zigzag lines. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll share the reference picture now, so that becomes easier for you guys. The final picture. So you will be shared with the final picture for giving the detailing part. Okay? We'll continue doing with this white. I'm keeping it here for your reference for now. Now I'm going to cover this part. Not too much color, that would spoil it. Because you can overlap the color, but rather than taking too much of color at once, would not give it a good effect. But if you use overlapping, layering basically, that will give a good effect. So basically we'll go layering, layer by layer. You see, I gave this lighter color line. I made this. It's a bit bluish, but I can make it whiter by adding another layer, right? Okay, I'm covering it from this side now. Do not forget to make the beds, small beds. Or I just call them veins, which are there on leaves. This part is a bit time taking as well, because this is the best thing which highlights everything. Okay, I'm gonna cover this part now. First, I'm gonna give this boundary. Very thin boundary I'm gonna give. And now a bit of bubbles. Not too much color. Do not forget to give these dots of white. And those veins over here. Do you guys have the reference picture? No? Okay. If you have the thinnest brush, the finest brush, if you have, you can use that too, because that is going to give a good effect. I'm making these veins. These are just, you just have to make them randomly. Try not to use more of water. Okay, I'm done with this part. I'm moving to this part now. I repeat, thin brush would work better. Okay, I'm covering this part now. So it's just above this darker part. First I make line, the longer one, and then I make veins. Both the sides. You can leave some part. Alright, so this part we're gonna cover with this water splash. So you can leave this part, right? And let's cover this one. Okay, so we have more of white in this part. Okay, so we can say it's a bit deeper here. So a bit deeper with more of white highlight. So make going to make more of white lines here. Should not be straight, should be zigzag. Again, we'll have to make some veins here as well. I'm covering this part this time. And I'm covering these three parts here with the veins and the line. Just follow it for the white part, okay? Just the highlighting part. I'm making a bit cross over here, if you guys can see. You guys can do the same because they're clashing, so you have to do the highlighting part in that way. Okay, I'm moving this side, I'm giving a bit white of here on the edges. Okay, too much white. I'm gonna cover over here where I told you that we're gonna make this fade till here. So what we are gonna do is we're going to make a clashing highlighting part over here. Two white lines would be clashing in each other, if you can see, overlapping over here in this way. So I'm gonna do it in this way. Just try and make these veins. And highlighting white part over here as well. With the veins. something over here. What we're gonna do is, I will be covering this part with this white part only. So I'm not going to use it, okay? This part should be used with that white part, okay? So you don't have to do this. I'm just doing it so that I can explain you the thing. So what do I have to do is, I'm going to make these veins from here as well. If you guys can see here, these coming out of it. Try making it like something is coming out of it, clashing, water clashing. So much of highlighting parts we'll have to make here. And the white dots. We're gonna cover this part now. All right. Okay. For the base, we're gonna use. I'm using this brush. You can use a round brush as well. But before doing it with the white color, I'm going to take bit acid blue, or you can just take sky blue as well. Both are fine. Both are fine. So we'll keep the brush dry. I'm just going to I'm just going to take bit of water, just bit of water, mixing it with the color. The brush should not be wet. Okay, should be a bit drier. Okay, so that it gives this hog brush one's effect. Should come up like this. Like this. Or if you want to dry your brush, you can use it on another paper, like this. You're not gonna use this one. So I'm gonna cover this part now. So it's somewhere here. It's a bit triangle this way. More like a drop. So I will let it dry and then I'm going to use white on it later. Again, I'm going to take this acid blue in which I mixed white and I will dry my brush. See, this is wet. This was dry here. So I'll make my brush dry. All right, so I'm going to cover this way. You don't have to worry if the base color is coming out. That's okay. We're going to use white on it. I think I made a bigger wave this time. Taller wave. I'm not getting space here. And try and cover this part. So we are just covering this part. Yeah, this one. All right. So in the meanwhile, this dries up because we can't do white on it until it dries, because that will mix with the white blue color. So in the meanwhile, we can check with these white lines if we need to cover any. Okay. And if you guys have brush, do you guys have brush, the toothpaste one, the waste one? If you guys have, if not, I will tell you the other way. So I'm talking about this brush. If you guys have it right now, that's fine by me. If you don't have round brush or any brush, preferable is round brush. We'll be using two brushes and we'll be taking white color. All right, before doing it on the original artwork, try on another sheet, okay? So what you have to do is, you'll do it in this way. Should have more water in the brush with the white color. So I'm using a brush for now, but in case you don't have this toothbrush, you can use the technique which I just told you. So I'm using this way. First I'll try it here. Working fine. So we're going to use it this way. In case you don't have toothbrush, you can go with the technique which I just told you before this. You don't have to worry about this white color goes anywhere. Let it spread, that's okay. Because we have white background. I think this much is enough. So we're not going to wet our brush. We'll keep it a bit dry. The same thing we did here. We're going to take white color. Alright. And we're going to do the same thing we did for blue. This way. Right? Let's cover this up. Also remember, you're going to leave this blue part on the edges. Right? And over here, you can just cover the whole part. Alright, I'll do it. I'm not keeping my brush wet. Okay, it's a bit dry. I'm going to cover this part. I'm going to leave the edges. Bit of edges, not more of them. You can just wipe your brush if you want, because when we're doing this, it might reactivate the blue color. So you can wash your brush, wipe your brush in between. Everyone, to just check if you have left any highlighting part, you can refer the reference picture given in the chat box. If you feel, you can just add these white lines. But one thing I would want you to do, just cover this part, the white lines coming down from here. That's it. Everyone can check with the reference picture given in the chat box or from here. And the lines we made previously, we can just cover them again if you want, because mine are gone. So I'll have to do it again. finer the brush, the result would be real good. Feeling of the tape now. Okay, like I told you, these are real good tapes. Not tapes, sheets as well. Okay, so I would want everyone to show their artwork. I would love to see the creation done by you guys. Alright, so I can just turn it off. We don't need it, right? We have the reference.